I ask that you keep them rotated towards you. Our time has just begun, and this relationship that you and I have does not start with names. It crescendos to them. Now we're starting today with your signature beverage. This is signifying both that first drink order placed and also the first vector for explaining this coffee's complexity. Today, we're going to start with the science. Now, within this coffee, there are key chemical compounds that impact how we perceive its flavor. When we think about a balanced cup, we think about sweetness, acidity, and bitterness. Now, within this coffee, its bright acidity is primarily caused by citric and phosphoric acid. We can find these compounds in the familiar ingredients of limes and milk, respectively. So, to represent this, prior to today, I combined 20 grams of lime juice with 500 grams of whole milk that was heated to 160 degrees. I then strained it, and we're left with a nearly clear liquid. It has a bright acidity and it has a heavy body. We're using 30 grams of this, and in combination with the espresso's natural acidity, creates the new flavor experience of orange sherbet and cream soda. Now we have bitterness, and in this coffee, it is primarily caused by quinic acid. We find this in young apples. To represent this, I have 25 grams of a tart green apple juice. In combination with the espresso's natural bitterness, it creates the new flavor experience of dark chocolate. Now, lastly, we have sweetness. And for this, we can look to this coffee's processing, as later on down the road, in the roasting, the dense presence of sucrose is lost. However, before that, these coffee cherries were placed in hermetically sealed tanks to ferment for more than 100 hours. This happens with periodic CO2 infusions, and this process that we know as natural carbonic maceration creates distinctly juicy flavors that we perceive as sweet. So, to represent this process, I have 20 grams of a kiwi infused caramel. This was made by caramelizing cane sugar before adding equal parts kiwi puree. Now I'm sealing all of these ingredients inside a siphon, along with 80 grams of our chilled espresso. And now, recalling that processing once more, we're going to add a CO2 infusion of our own. But this time, it enhances both the texture and the mouthfeel of our final beverage. So once more, let's review our flavor calls. You'll taste orange sherbet and cream soda. You'll taste dark chocolate. And finally, you'll taste yuzu. Yuzu is a citrus with notes of grapefruit and lemon oil. The tactile is a medium weight. It's slick, it's coating, and it has a sparkling and lively finish of dark chocolate and orange. Now, as one final step, I'm going to be flaming a grapefruit peel over each of your beverages. This is releasing caramelized citrus oils, and it balances the aroma just as we've already balanced our flavors. Now, you're welcome to enjoy these as soon as I hand them to you. I ask that you swirl 3 times, inhale the aroma, and enjoy. These ingredients can only be paired with this coffee. This drink is a recreation of this coffee's balanced structure of sweetness, acidity, and bitterness, and it's an introduction. Once you're done with your evaluation, please take a few sips of water. We'll be continuing shortly. Enjoy. Now we're moving a step closer, both to this coffee and also to each other. So let's return to the cafe, to something that's familiar. Grounded in warm and confectionery flavors, the combination of milk and espresso is one that draws people in. It's a beverage that's removed from the theater of your last course, and yet the balance between its sweetness and acidity is just as complex. Now, to start off with, this coffee was roasted with a drop temperature of 387 degrees Fahrenheit. This has resulted in a bright and tropical acidity. However, as I mentioned before, in that roasting process, the dense presence of sucrose, or sugars, that you find in the green coffee is lost. And this is where the addition of milk creates a balance. Now, in order to increase the sugars and decrease the water content in my milk, I've taken whole milk. It had a 3.8% fat content, and I froze it before distilling off 30%. This process of freeze distillation has created a drink that is sweeter. It has a creamier and weightier mouthfeel to it. Now, you're welcome to enjoy as soon as I hand these to you. But for now, let's talk about what you'll taste. In these drinks, you'll find yellow cake batter. You'll taste a distinct chocolate soft serve. You'll taste white chocolate and subtle undertones of pistachio. The tactile is a heavy weight. It's rich, buttery, and decadent, and has a lingering finish of warm cacao powder. Enjoy. Enjoy. In this combination of milk and espresso, we find ourselves one step away from the heart of specialty coffee. While some choose to linger here, we'll be continuing on shortly. Now, once you're done with your evaluation once more, please take a few sips of water and rotate that name card out to face me. Enjoy. Enjoy. Now, in the last 10 minutes, we have crescendoed to something quieter, your espresso course. But I want to challenge you that this truly is the heart of specialty coffee. Espresso is the backbone of our industry. Understanding it takes time. It takes effort. And stripped away from any additions, it stands alone as greater than the sum of its parts. So at last, I'd like to introduce you. This coffee is the Gesha variety from the Chiriquí region of Panama. Grown at over 1,900 meters above sea level in Panama's northernmost highlands, this coffee was produced by Jameson Savage. The region itself is known as the Valley of Flowers and Eternal Spring. It's a joyful description that matches what I felt when tasting this for the first time. Now, for these espressos and everything you've had today, we're starting with 18.5 grams in the basket. We have a yield of 40 grams at 25 seconds. Wait to taste, but please perform your visual evaluation. In the cup, you'll find complex red fruits. It starts as strawberry and it develops into a tart cherry. You'll taste grapefruit in flavor, acidity, and oil. And you'll taste panela simple syrup, which has a deep sweetness and minerality. The tactile is a medium weight. It begins juicy and develops into soft, round, and silky. The finish is of that grapefruit oil and the complex bitterness of cacao nib. Now, I want to remind you what I said at the beginning of our time. When a customer and a barista meet, it doesn't start with names, but through service, it can end with them. So Chelsea and Sam and Ronnie and Cher, as baristas and as coffee professionals, it is our role in this industry to honor everything that has come before us. The intimacy of a name passed over through repeated hospitality, the fascinating complexity of one single beverage. This is how we remain grounded in uncompromising excellence and in service. So finally, my name is Morgan. It has been an honor to serve you. Please enjoy your espressos. Time.
The reigning U.S. Barista Champion, Morgan Eckroth, Onyx Coffee Lab, Portland, Oregon. Well-deserved round of applause.
Sorry everyone had to listen to my breathing for that long.
I think that's a good thing as long as you're breathing, right? So excellent job. Coming back as the champion, how are you feeling on this performance this morning?
This was really fun.
Good. Excellent.
Coffee tastes really good. I'm really excited to finally share it with people.
Yeah, it's nice to come to these moments. You've had a tremendous year. So many wonderful things happening for you in the coffee space and in your journey. Anyone that you want to thank that's here or not here or throughout this past year for you?
That was a good reminder. I do. I want to give a huge shout out to my coach, Lance. He is in Portugal right now, but he is definitely on that live stream happening over there, and he's been a huge help throughout this process. Again, everyone at Onyx, this is a huge team effort for all of us. And yeah, it's really cool to be here, and it's really cool to have all the coffee people in my city. It's rad.
Yeah, that has to feel special. And I've seen the Lance cutout traveling around the show as well, too. So that's been really helpful.
I'm like partially responsible for that. And I'm also sorry for that.
Please don't be sorry. It's been a wonderful touch. And one more round of applause, please, for our reigning U.S. Barista champion, Morgan Eckroth, Onyx Coffee Lab, Portland, Oregon. Well done, Morgan. Thank you very much.